Don't be fooled by the internet. It's cool to get on the computer, but don't let the computer get on you. It's cool to use the computer. Don't let the computer use you. You all saw The Matrix. There's a war going on. The battlefield's in the mind. The prize is the soul.
All right, we live.
We live.
We live. Let's get it. Let's get it.
Yeah, go, man. The circus is out here.
All right, we're gonna get into this Trump World War III topic real quick, y'all. We need y'all to come in and like this video, share it if you can. But we definitely got to tap into this. I mean, there's a lot of strange things going on behind this, this Iran and Israel thing. A lot of things they trying to keep our minds occupied with, and we ain't going for it. So we're gonna talk about.
Who've been listening to our last couple streams, we already covered a little bit of this about what's really going on behind the scenes.
Hell yeah, but we definitely gotta get, we definitely gotta get into it though. Yeah, we definitely gonna get into it. Come on in, y'all. Hit the like button on your way in. And shit, man, we gotta get into this, man. So Trump did do a little interview earlier. The press ran up on him before he got on his little flight or whatever. And this this guy funny as hell. So yeah, they was questioning him about the Iran and Iraq ceasefire, and Trump had a few things to say about that. So let's go ahead and let's let this footage roll, man.
Know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that? I'm not happy with Israel. You know, when I say, okay, now you have 12 hours, you don't go out in the first hour and just drop everything you have on them. So I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with Iran either. But I'm really unhappy if Israel's going out this morning because of one rocket that didn't land, that was shot, perhaps by mistake, that didn't land. I'm not happy about that. You know what? We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that? They don't.
That boy acting like he fed up about it, ain't he?
It's all part of the act because and it's a pride thing because he told them ceasefire and he told everybody that, oh yeah, it's all we back to peace now. They agreed to the ceasefire, and then the next day Israel drops the bomb on Iran.
Right.
So if y'all been listening to our streams, y'all know a lot of this is staged anyway. Because they want to get us into this World War III so they could take control over the whole, so they could come with the solution to take control of the whole world through a world government that they all agree on, that they've been had in the works for years now.
Right.
Yeah, this dude, he's put here, he's a spectacle. This Trump character, he's a spectacle. From when he was running and then he supposedly got the fake assassination attempts and all that stuff. All that was for show. And
That's
a lot
fact.
of people fell for it. There's a lot of people who fell for the whole Trump thing, thinking Trump was going to come save America and make America great. I ain't believe any of that. I didn't believe anything would come out of Kamala being president either. Yeah, none, because all of them are on the same team. And that's what we have to see here. It's all the world leaders, all the politicians, and the big corporations against the general public.
Right.
That's just what it is.
All right,
ain't
so
nothing outside of that.
Oh, so he did tweet. Was this before he did the little press conference thing, or right around well, not at the press conference. It had to happen after this because he said, Israel, do not drop those bombs. If you do, it's a major violation. Bring your pilots home. Now Donald J. Trump, President of the United States. This was Vance, I guess, retweeted from Trump. So he basically told them, like, why is he tweeting Israel, telling them not to drop bombs through a tweet? That's another thing that be
Exactly.
all for show. It'd be all for show because why would you tweet that? You would just call Netanyahu on the phone, be like, "Yo, don't drop them bombs." Like, "Yo, this is a major violation. Why you gotta tweet it?" So it's a show. I feel like it's a show for us. And the thing about it is, even though the world leaders is playing this game, there's some real casualties out of this. Like the people suffer because things like this happen. It don't matter if the world leaders is teaming up or if they at war with each other. Because tell you the truth, a lot of them be at war with each other too. Like they don't be all peaches and cream when it comes to these world leaders linking up. A lot of these niggas don't like each other neither because it's a grab. It's a money power grab for money and power. So when everybody's going for power, of course, there's going to be people there's going to be some discrepancies within these world leaders because they all grabbing for power. They all greedy. They all want to keep the general population at bay. So there's always going to be. I mean, it's the same thing like with organized crime. Every once in a while, a war break out between the families. You know what I'm saying? So that happens when organized crime going on. So a lot of this with these world leaders is organized crime anyway. So that's how I'm looking at it. I don't know. I don't know how everybody else looking at it, but when I see these things going on, I'm looking at it as this is organized crime.
But one thing they all agree on when it comes to deceiving the people, they always come
Yeah, yeah,
together.
yeah.
No matter
Fact.
how much beef they
That's a
have
fact.
amongst each other,
That's a
they
fact.
still want these wars to go on so they could drain the economy, put everybody in the poorhouse so they could come with their solutions. And their
Yeah, that's a
solutions is
fact.
always more control over the people. And I like the fact that you mentioned how they keep putting everything on social media. That's
Hey,
another control method that they use.
hey,
Because
fact.
why would you're the world leaders and you're tweeting online. Like you're
Fact.
tweeting online to other world leaders online rather than calling them up on the phone and telling
Or
them
meeting or having
don't
or
or
having a
meeting,
meeting.
yeah, or meeting,
Yeah,
yeah. Or meet, and if you want the public to know, you would just make it public on television like you
yeah,
always did.
yeah. But for the simple fact that the tweets go out, that's another way to control the narrative because they know people's going to talk about it. So that's another way. That's just a control mechanism to control the narrative and to keep people occupied because they know this shit is all algorithm based, bro. The algorithms is running our lives right now when it comes to what we see online. All it is algorithm based, bro. So just by him tweeting this out, this is gonna go out to every publication.
Well, it's experimental too
Yeah,
because
I
now,
mean,
first time in history, they get to see what the people have to say about it. Because before on television, you don't know what the people are saying. See
nah,
that now on social media, they can actually use AI and actually create create different sectors of how people think about certain issues that they present to people. They wasn't able to do that through television. You ain't know what really people was saying in front of their television. Now since they brung it online, now they can really control all the chatter and everything around it and
yeah,
change perception even more through online. The online thing is this whole social media stuff is the biggest psyop ever in history. It is highly effective. It's so effective that you know what I'm saying that most people won't even think that that's what it is. They just say,
yeah,
"Oh no, this is just new technology that we all supposed to use." Now, everything that the government release and that these big corporations, because the big corporations are the government, everything they release is weaponized and is directed to control the people and to experiment. And that's all this social media stuff is. Now, of course, they gotta make it enticing for us to where you can make money off of it, you can communicate with your family, you could become famous. Of course, they have to give us those things to make it attractive for us to go get on here. Because you gotta think about it. Why would they tweet? Why would he tweet to the Israel's president or the Iranian president? Why would you tweet them? Like that don't even make sense. Why would you use something? You know how petty social media is. You know how petty that is. Like, why would you do
right,
that? Like, why would
yeah,
that be your first thing to do? Is to go on Twitter and start typing? Like, why? because it's a psyop, and we all falling for it, 100%.
So yeah, it's a way to definitely control the narrative. Um, if you keep people basically in discussion about it, people minds is going to be occupied on and they only going focused on whatever the media presents. So right now everybody's talking about Trump cussing. Like, all right, he cuss. So what? I mean, all the presidents cuss. They humans. It ain't a shocker that this nigga said he don't know what the fuck they
Right.
doing over there. Like
Exactly.
this nigga been cussing. All they all cuss. That shit ain't no different. You know what I mean, he just more open with it. Like he ain't trying to highlight. That's one thing I can respect about this nigga. He ain't trying to highlight. He ain't trying to be politically correct when it comes to like when the media be running up on him and he say certain things. It's kind of like with George Bush when George Bush was saying anything he want. He wasn't sticking to the teleprompter or none of that shit. He like, why would I want to say this shit? I'm just gonna say what I want. So I respect that. You know what I mean? Nigga saying was really on his mind. But like you said, it's shit still to me. This shit is the way, like you said, the way they tweeting and shit, and like it's all a game to me. When I see that, I'm like, all right, why is you
Yeah.
tweeting the world? Why is you tweeting another world leader? That don't make
Right.
sense. Like, do that make sense
Like
to
it's a
tweet?
Meek Mill and Drake beef or something.
Yeah, like come
Like you
on, bro.
dragging that over there to politics when this is real people lives that you
This
affected.
supposed to be a
Like
real
this is
war. Like
real
you
lives you
tweeting
affected,
this shit.
and they tweeted like it's a goddamn Meek Mill and Drake beef, bro. That's what's making me mad about it, because I'm like, all right, this is definitely a psyop, and I know why they doing it. They doing it so they can see the response of people, so they can tweak
Yeah,
their
right.
agenda. Because
Yeah,
you gotta think about it, they was never able to do this in the past. When they put their fake agendas out there, they don't know the mindset of the people and if they actually falling for it or not. With social media, now they can see
yeah,
it
they can
in real
tweak it. Yeah,
time. They
yeah.
can see it in real time how the people react and what they need to tweak to make people believe it even more, and what they have like that's basically what this
That's
whole
key point.
social media thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a key point right
that's
there.
key point. What you just said that they tweak. I mean, like they get to actually tweak the agenda as they get the people to respond in real time. They can
Hmm.
actually get to tweak the agenda even more just by the response of the people. That's why when you go on Facebook, it's tell me what's on your mind at the top of
Hmm.
the page. So I mean, social media is based off of you telling, artificial intelligence what's on your mind. They actually have processors, fast ass processors at
Right.
that, that can,
Artificial intelligence.
right,
Yeah.
that can actually process all the activity on social media. It reports back to the people that need to see it, and
Hmm.
they tweak their agenda based off what people are saying on the internet. So
Hmm.
and a lot of that they do that shit with a lot of the hashtags too. When they be telling
Hmm.
you to hashtag certain things, they use those hashtags to actually see what's on people's minds so they can tweak the agenda. That's how it works, man. That's basically what this social media shit is about. This shit
Yes.
ain't, I mean, but at the same time, it's a flip side. It's always a two-headed you know, two sides of the coin.
Hmm.
While they doing that and the information is flowing, people still able to pick up on the information and process it faster as well, and then connect with like-minded people and put notes together and be like, all right, this is what they doing. You know what I mean? So it
The
what
fact what we're
social
doing
media,
right now, that
yeah,
we exposing it right now, we're able
yeah,
to because of the internet.
yeah, like you able to see what's happening and you able to connect the dots as well. So you able to discern when things is happening and you able to connect the dots. We're like, all right, what's the reason? Because everything they do always has an undertone to it. So you could be like, all right, so what's the point of, like with him tweeting it out? Like, why would you tweet out to another world leader? All right, why would a president tweet to another world leader? Don't drop bombs on, you know what I mean, or there's gonna be uh, there's gonna be a violation.
Right.
Why would a world leader tweet that? You would actually set up a meeting with that world leader and tell him over the phone, or you will set up a type of meeting where y'all meet on neutral grounds and y'all discuss that.
Yeah.
Never in history has something like this ever took place, that a world leader would actually tweet another world leader telling him don't do something. That don't make sense. So you got to look at that and ask, why is this happening? You got to be able to discern that and start connecting the dots, bro. Like, this is crazy to me, bro. I ain't never seen no shit like this in my life, my nigga.
And what makes it seem even more petty, because that's how celebrities beef with each other.
Let me go back. Yeah, let me go back to that real quick.
When they doing publicity stunts.
Let me go back
you
to
know,
that
the
tweet,
celebrities, it be publicity stunts when the celebrities do it a lot of the times. And they just think about how when Kevin Hart was roasting, who was he was going back and forth with somebody, and they was like talking like how they was gonna plan it. Like, yeah, you go in there and I roast you, then you gonna roast me back, and then so and so gonna jump in and it's gonna get our numbers up. So it's like it's all a game. Or like when Ray J and Orlando Brown was out there bragging about who goes viral more. Like it's turned into a circus. It's a whole circus now, and they already reduced our minds down to this. And the point that I'm making is the key point to this: these world leaders are playing with real people's lives, though.
Right.
See, with Kevin Hart and all them, that's just entertainment. But these people got real people's lives in their hands, and you turn it into a online beef.
Right. Let me read this again. So this is the tweet we talking about. Like, why would you tweet this to another world leader? He's addressing Israel. Israel, do not drop those bombs. If you do, it's a major violation. Why would you tweet that to another world leader? That's what I'm saying. It doesn't make sense, bro. Yeah, I mean, this is not like no regular. Yeah, this is not like no regular beef. We're talking about going into World War III.
Exactly.
First of all, Iran is allies with Russia, China. Who else? Russia, China. It's few other countries that's allies with Iran. So it's like, so these wars kick off, then everybody's going to be in on it. You see what I'm saying? All these other countries is going to be in on it because, first of all, we know war is profit, is big business. You know what I'm saying? War is big business. I think Egypt too is allies with Iran as well. Yeah, I think Egypt's on the list.
Yeah.
You said North Korea?
CC said Twitter finger's gonna get us blown the fuck up.
Yeah, right. Who said that? Who said that? So you say you gotta put that
I put it up.
Screen, bro.
It's already on there.
I
put it up there.
Fact. Twitter finger's gonna get us.
Like this. Right. This is not. Like, it's not a game. Like he
Twitter
going online typing to Israel and Iran and shit online.
Twitter finger gonna get us nuked like a motherfucker, right?
What is this? Like, is it a joke? This is wild to me, bro.
Nuke, bro.
This shit is wild to me. And you know what? That's probably what they want anyway. That's what they're provoking anyway. Because think about it, they're not going to be affected by it. They got underground bunkers and shit like that. They don't care if we get nuked. They don't care if we go to war.
Yeah,
they ain't sending none of their kids. They ain't sending none of their kids to war. They not going to war. These politicians.
Yeah, I feel sorry for 18 to 25. Yeah, I feel sorry for your child being 18 to 25 because if shit break out, it's possible a draft can happen, and your 18 to 25-year-old could be shipped off the war. Yes,
and that's another thing. Monetary. I don't know how to say it.
Monetary gain.
Monetary Williams. No, Monetary Williams.
Oh, you're talking about,
the U.S. don't have money to start a war. Damn sure don't have money to start a war, but it always seems like they get the money from somewhere for war. But when it comes to anything else, they ain't got it.
But the thing is, you gotta peep this, bro. It's special interest. So you have world banks.
This shit crazy.
So World Bank's the ones that actually fund these wars. It's the World Banks because they have special interest in war. They whole thing is to fund both sides of the war. So don't get it confused. The same people that's funding Israel is the same people that's going to fund Iran. You got to understand there's higher up world banks that actually specialize in funding war. That's just what they do. The Battle of Waterloo was funded by the Rothschilds. Both sides of the war was funded by the Rothschilds. And that's what Napoleon and them niggas. And the whole purpose of them, the war, was to drive the market down so they could buy up everything on pennies on the dollars. And that's exactly what they did. When they found out that Napoleon, when they found out Napoleon actually won the war before everybody else did, that they ran and bought everything up on the market for pennies on the dollar. So when you see war break out, you got to keep that mindset that they just want to drive the market down so special interests could buy up everything on pennies and the dollars. And right now, what they want to buy up is land because they want to build these smart cities. They going to get these smart cities off. That's what they want to do. That's the next phase they going into. Blockchain technology, cryptocurrency, and smart cities to go along with the new financial system. So that's they want to get that off. That's the next phase.
So all these world leaders got a base script. Is just how they sell it. And Trump, he's a good actor. He sells it. That's why he was doing all the cussing and doing the little tweets and stuff back. Because he's selling it. Because they all got a base. All these world leaders are in on it together. There's no real beef between Iran and Israel. Between those world leaders, there's no real beef. Behind the scenes, there's no real beef. It's only beef when they presenting it to us because they want to drag us into the world. Because think about it, they don't give a shit. They already control everything already. They already living like kings. They already living like royalty already. But they got to keep the people believing so the people don't come and overthrow them. So they got to get us hating somebody. They got to get us hating somebody. You know what I'm saying? So we can be dragged into the wars so they can drain us of our money. Because where do they get the money? They get it from the banks, but they also get it from tax dollars. So we got to work harder so they can war. So they can send us off to war so we could die in war. And they still going to be living like kings.
And that's how they get it. That it's a whole pyramid scheme.
It's a whole pyramid scheme.
Because they know war is profitable business for arms, for the ones that make the weapons, from the financial system, the banks. Like they all profit from this.
All the insurance policies.
All the insurance policies, right?
All the dead soldiers, all the damaged property, all that stuff is money making.
Right. Basically where blood's being shed, there's profit to be made.
Yep.
Like when there's blood on the ground, that's where profit is to be made because they drive down the property value anyway. When shit like this happens, it drops the property value down, so they able to buy up everything. They know the general public. They know the general population don't have money to really buy up everything. I mean, so who's going to really buy up and profit? Yeah, who's going to profit from these wars? It's the same old corporations, same old banks, same old world leaders. Politicians, they just there to push paperwork. They just there to push the paperwork through.
Yeah, the policy.
The policy. Yeah, right.
And the policies benefit the corporations, and the corporations benefit the politicians. And the only ones that get stiffed in the end is the general public.
Yeah, the people. The people always get stiffed.
The general public is the one that always gets stiffed in all of this.
But then they always create the problem reaction solution phase, right? They create these problems, they get the people to react to it, then they come in as the hero. They got to send the hero in to keep the people at bay. So what they do, they try to, give us little incentives and stuff. A little $1,400 check here. You might get a little $3,500 check if you got kids, and you know how they do the same old bull crap. Hey, just give them crumbs off the table. They'll be all right. That's how they look at the general population, like children. Hey, just give them a little check.
Not even children, bro. They look at us like cattle.
Cattle or number, just another number.
Right.
Yeah, just give them a check. Just give them a check. They'll be all right. Give them $1,400 check. They'll be all right. You know what I'm saying? That's their mindset. That's their mindset. Y'all know we right because they come with that $1,400 check, $2,500, $3,500 check, Every once in a while, they come with them. Yeah, we gotta get the people money.
And it ain't sick, and you just
It don't be
giving it right
shit.
back to the corporation.
Facts. It's all an old pyramid scheme. Same cycle.
It ain't enough money to get you out of the hole. It's only enough money to get you the little bullshit that they allow us to have. Like
nigga, it smells kibbles and bits.
right.
Facts, bro. Fucking kibbles and bits.
$1,400 check. Prices going up high as hell, and they give people a little bit of that little bit of money, a little $1,400, but the corporations, they get big ass bailouts.
Yeah, they always get the big bailouts.
Yeah, billion-dollar bailouts and shit.
Banks be bailing their ass right out,
billion-dollar bailouts, and the people only get like crumbs. And then all the money, and you gotta think about all the bailout money that the general public get, it goes right back to the big corporations. Because where are we at with the money? We go straight back to the big corporations and give them the money back.
See, the thing is, they want to make it cash because they don't want people hide money in safes and under their mattress and none of that no more. That takes the power away from the people when they do that. When they make it cashless, like you can't, that money you hiding in the safe and money you hiding under your mattress and all that, it ain't gonna be worth anything. Really, only thing gonna be worth something is gold and silver. Now, if you stacking up on gold and silver, then you might be good. Actually, you good. You good if you got gold and silver stashed. You good, because that translates across. I mean, the market translates across the world at the same price. So you good when it comes to gold. You silver, you good. Any precious type metals, you good. You know what I'm saying? But far as like cash, cash, you good now. You good now for now until they really double down on making everything cashless to the point, because most people just use their debit cards and credit cards right now anyway, or Apple Pay or PayPal or Cash App and you know what I mean, Zelle.
They got us right. They got us right where they want us.
So when they actually switch over to 100% crypto, where all the establishments is actually accepting crypto, because they almost there. They almost there. Yeah, I mean, they signing in these bills right now as we speak. So while all this war and while they got our minds occupied, they signing in these crypto bills and all that. That's what they doing up there. They up there signing these crypto bills in and figuring out how they're gonna regulate the crypto market as well. Because they got to put regulations on it. They don't want too many people getting, they don't want it to get out of hand too much. So they figuring ways to regulate it. So while they occupying us with Israel and Trump and Diddy and who else? Israel and Iran, they up there discussing how they gonna regulate this new financial system.
Though it's completely unrealistic, they want to try to go cashless by 2030, and that's not happening.
They want to go.
I don't think they're gonna do it by 2030.
They're trying to pull it off for the Olympics because they bringing the Olympics to Los Angeles 2028. So they are trying to get it passed through faster, bro. That's the big, staple, bringing the Olympics to America, bro.
It's still going to take some time for the crypto, because they're going to have crypto competing with regular cash.
Yeah.
And then the way they're going to control it is most banks will be like, oh, we can't handle your cash right now.
Right.
We can't take in your cash. We ain't got the means to take in your. Some banks are already doing that.
Banks are doing it right now. You can't even get $60 out the bank. Like, bro,
I'm talking about depositing your cash.
Oh, yeah, depositing. Right.
Some banks are saying we ain't even going to take your cash right now.
Yeah, they say, that's true.
That's what they headed towards, because they about to sign in a stable coin. The cryptocurrency stable coins. They signed an act into act called the Genius Act. And that's what's been going on since this whole distraction with the war. The Genius Act is about to be passed. And the Genius Act is literally about bringing crypto in to replace cash. And people ain't seeing it because we distracted by Iran, Israel, and all this bullshit. But while they changing the money, while they quietly in the background changing the money, and that's the dark truth behind this damn war. is they headed for a cashless society.
Yeah.
Now, war is going to do a couple of things. It's going to put us in the poorhouse, and it's also going to make us insecure, not just in the market, but with everything. And that's when we relinquish more control over to the government. And in the background, they got the whole cryptocurrency stuff brewing. So that this is about domination. And all the world leaders are in on it because they're all invested in cryptocurrency. All these world leaders, every last one of them, all these countries are invested in cryptocurrency. They all agree that they want to go cashless. See, that's what you have to start paying attention to. Pay attention to the things that all the world leaders agree on, and that's the agenda. And the number one thing that they all agree on, they all want to go cashless. And if they go cashless, that's going to completely take the control from the people and put it into their hands because they can program your money now. And once they have 100% control over your money, we're finished because they got technology now to where they can lock you out of anything if you ain't got the proper identification. And you ain't gonna be able to pay for nothing with your digital money because it can reject. It can reject. But cash, on the other hand, you see, you can take cash anywhere and nobody never know about the transactions. But with crypto, that's 100% traceable.
Transparent.
And they could control it in real time. So if you're flagged in the system, you got digital ID that's going to be tied to your digital money, and you're flagged in the system, you won't be able to purchase nothing anywhere. Nowhere.
One button, they cut everything
off. One button, you're blocked.
No Uber, no DoorDash.
You know how we ghost each other? You know how, like, the general public with the social media shit, you ghost somebody? Well, imagine the government and the corporations ghosting you from society and you can't use your money. It sounds like a Black Mirror episode on Netflix. You won't be able to use your money nowhere. Your digital currency, with your digital ID, with your biometrics attached to it, you won't be able to use money anywhere. You won't be able to get no food. You won't be able to get no clothing. You won't be able to get no gas. You won't be able to get nothing.
That's going to cause a civil war. I'm telling you, that's not going to work out.
Hell no! That system going to collapse.
Yeah, that's going to fall in on itself.
If they get too tyrannical with that system, that shit's going to collapse within a year.
Yeah, and it's more people than it's not enough weapons or anything they got to really hold back the people. When the people angry and they all teaming up to go against a tyrannical government, we've seen it throughout history. These governments fall, these empires fall when the people band together. We see it all the time. If you study the history, you understand that no one was able to really dominate this world. No one group, not one leader, no nothing. They never conquered. They was never able to conquer the world. 100%.
They already got a plan if it don't work out, though. What they gonna fry all the electrical equipment in the world? They already got technology. They showed us this in the movie, in the Netflix movie Leave the World Behind. It was also another series that they put out called Revolution, where they fried all the equipment.
Yeah,
all the internet and all the technology. They got they sent out a pulse. They sent out a pulse, and it fries everything. We won't have access to no internet, no nothing.
Yeah, remember they showed all the systems crashing.
Yep.
They showed all the
crashing out of the sky and everything. Because everything, cars won't work because everything is ran on the same system. So they got something just in case if the people don't accept their tyranny. And their tyranny is they want everybody on a cashless. They want a cashless society, and they want to be able to track and trace everything that we're doing, every transaction, every interaction. They already got all our interactions. Yeah, I mean, through social media, because we voluntarily give all of our information, our locations, where we go out every day. You know what I mean? What we eating, who we dating, everything's already online for them to access. It's a dream to the feds to have this type of shit. And look, before 30 years ago, they didn't have this. Fast forward now, they got all this information that before they had to go digging through the trash to get the shit. Now we just voluntarily put it online. So they already accomplished that side. Now the transaction part, now they want to get rid of this pesky cash. They don't want this dirty cash Like they don't want people storing up cash in a shoebox under their bed or in a pillowcase. They want to basically ban all the cash or a safe or something. They want to be able to track every transaction that you do and control it. And they brag about their plans. They brag about their plans in TV series, books, movies.
Let me run this clip. Yeah, you gotta run this clip.
Yeah.
Let's run this clip real quick. This clip game was this from the 80s?
Yeah, I think damn, what is this film called? It's called what is this shit called? It's called what is this? I think it was called
1984.
Nah, this not 1984. Now 1984 is another one, but it's something similar to that.
Let me see if somebody in the comments see what this movie is. All right, somebody 19. They Live, Scanners, Invasions of the Body Snatchers. Yeah, all these movies is definitely on point. 1984, They Live, Scanners, Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Right, yeah, all them movies is definitely on point. All right, let me run this clip, y'all.
1980?
Huh?
Is it 1980 or some shit? Like I feel like this is also like this movie. The title was also like a date or some shit. It was like 1980 or something. I don't know. I forgot the exact name.
Financial
movie, but they definitely broke down their plan in this movie.
All right, let me see if let me know if the video y'all can hear.
Actually, the dollar is being devalued even faster than we could have hoped.
Okay.
Politically, the public has lost total confidence in any form of government. The threat of universal.
All right, hold on. Let me pause. Bring it back for y'all. Hold on. All right, make sure y'all smash that like button too. Y'all go ahead and smash that like button.
Financially, the dollar is being devalued even faster than we could have hoped. Politically, the public has lost total confidence in any form of government. The threat of universal war is a daily possibility. As you know, we ourselves do not need to hold any visible office of leadership. As a matter of fact, it's better that we do not. We control the finances, news media, food, transportation, energy. We control everything. It is important that you, as world leaders, keep our program before your countrymen. With our World Bank and computer program operational, we now have the capacity to control the financial affairs of every human being on Earth by giving each person his own computer number. Anytime his number is used, we would know his financial situation at once. He could not buy or sell anything without his computer number. It will simplify their lifestyles tremendously. The end result will be a one-world monetary and government system that we alone will control. Yes.
What about the people who forget their number, or their cards are lost or stolen?
We've made provisions for that. By using this laser imprinter, we can painlessly and permanently affix the person's number to the back of his hand or his forehead if he so desires. Financially, the dollar is being devalued.
All right, so they took it from the Book of Revelations with the whole 666 thing on the hand, but the marketplace doesn't mean. See, they just mocking what the actual marketplace is. So the marketplace is Earth, period. That's what the marketplace is. This whole Earth that we live on, buying and selling. It's everything. Religion, buying and selling religion, buying and selling ideas, buying and selling your soul is bought and sold on this damn. Like everything that surrounding us is the marketplace. So with them just mocking, just taking that and actually mocking it with 666 on the hand, and you can't buy and sell without this number and that's the physical part of it. But what Revelation's talking about is a spiritual marketplace.
Right. Oh, so the movie is called Early Warning, 1981.
Yeah, all right.
Early Warning, 1981. Yeah.
Yeah, y'all definitely check that out when y'all get a chance. It's an older movie.
It's on YouTube. It's under a account called Christian Movies.
Christian Movies. All right.
Yeah, Early Warning, 1981.
Make sure y'all hit that like button if you're just coming up in here. Appreciate y'all that's tuning in for right now. This video is sponsored by 90 Day Herbals, where you can buy, great high quality products from us off 90dayherbals.com, from CBD to hair care and skincare products, detoxes, and then definitely check out our shop as well. It's pinned to the top, and it's also in the description of this video. So we also got a 30% sale going on at this
35%
time.
off.
35% sale. So when you purchase, it automatically comes off when you check out. So make sure y'all go over there and check us out. Yo, we appreciate y'all that's been shopping with us. Y'all orders is definitely going out, y'all. So for y'all that already purchased the products recently, y'all, we gathering it up now, and it will be shipped out.
Fact.
All right, hold on. It's some other things. So of course they're gonna
this movie came out in 1981, bro.
And of course they got a shadow
talking about
ban
the crypto
too,
system.
Yeah, it's talking about the one world financial system, universal base income, where everybody's gonna be on.
And the cashless, talking about devaluing the dollar, devaluing the cash, so you'll be just a number in the system with digital money attached to a digital ID.
Facts.
That's insane, and that's literally what's coming. That's what they've been training. It like the Cash Apps, the Apple Pay, all that stuff, the QR codes, and all that stuff are training wheels to get us used to using these things, because they're planning on replacing cash with just digital money, and it's going to be programmable. Because really, they want to move to something called a universal basic income, to where everybody get the same amount of money, digital money, but based on your behavior in society, like a social credit system based on your behavior that's set forth by the government, by this small government that's going to be ruling over everything. They literally going to have certain rules that you have to follow by to even receive your digital universal basic income. And you're like, well, how people going to have jobs and stuff like that? Everything's going to be automated. Artificial intelligence is going to replace a lot of these jobs. So everything is going to be basically government sponsored everything, food, clothing, everything. And Amazon, it plays a big part in that also. That's why some of these Amazon stores, you gotta literally scan to get in the store, and it's cashless. All you gotta do is hook your Amazon account up to be able to go into the store, scan your phone. You won't be able to get, the door won't even open for you unless you have an account with Amazon to scan your phone to get in the Amazon Fresh stores. Any of y'all California, some in California, there's some down south. These Amazon Fresh stores, that's the model that they want to use for the future.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah, I seen a video earlier where you couldn't you actually had to pay to get in the store. You had to actually swipe your card to even get into the store.
Yeah, that's an Amazon Fresh store.
It's crazy to me, bro.
Yeah, that's an Amazon Fresh store. So you won't even be able to get into the store unless you have the credits or the digital money to get in there. And you got to have approval, because now remember, now if it's cashless and the government and the corporations control your digital money, and they feel like you wasn't behaving the way that they want you to behave in society, following their rules, they could turn your money off. You won't be able to get into nowhere. You gotta think about it. They even changing the way you even get your fast food and stuff with the screens and all that, and the scanning and all that. Once they take away cash, man, we're done. It's gonna be either a war, you know what I'm saying, or we gonna be going back to the Stone Age, because people ain't gonna put up with it for too long. The establishment is gonna recognize that, and they just gonna fry everything, go into the underground bunkers, where they still gonna have some of the technology for themselves, but everybody else ain't gonna have access to nothing anymore. So we're gonna have to learn we're gonna have to learn old skills like they're new skills again. Because we lost all our skills. Most people don't even know how to cook from scratch, don't know how to grow no food, don't know how to sew no clothes. You don't know how to do shit. The corporations do everything for you, even down to wiping your ass. Yeah, I mean, you got to depend on them for toilet paper here in the West to wipe your ass. I mean, some places are, yeah, I mean, some places they use bidets and shit like that. But most people was going crazy over the toilet paper during the COVID, because the toilet paper was missing off the shelves. People was fighting over toilet paper.
Yeah, during
So
the
you
pandemic.
depending on them to even wipe your ass. That's how bad it is. So we lost all our skills and everything. We're going to be dependent on artificial intelligence for everything. A system that they control. And it's cashless on top of that. That's insane.
Facts.
That's what these wars are all about. Getting us all in a poorhouse. Because you got to think about this. These wars bankrupts all the economies. Prices for regular things go high as hell because the money devalued so much. So we're gonna be left out in the cold with nothing. So they could come with the solution of, oh, since nobody have any money, now we could do universal basic income, where we decide how much money you get, and it'd be just enough for you and your family to survive and not take up too many resources. And the money's gonna be programmable. If you don't use it in a certain amount of time, it expires. So you can never accumulate wealth anymore. That's another reason why they want to get cash, because cash, you can keep stacking cash up until you're a millionaire and have $1 million stashed in a bed frame somewhere. They want to get rid of that. They don't want people to be able to own nothing or accumulate anything. And that's what this whole war stuff is about, because once we head into World War III and you see Russia getting involved and China getting involved, and you got Iran and Israel and the United States, and then you're going to have England and Canada. Everybody's going to be at war, and the only people that's going to suffer is the general public, the people.
Yeah, the people always suffer.
But the politicians, they going to be eating good. I don't think y'all understand how good these politicians eat when there's a war going on, because they just help themselves to more tax dollars because they say they need it for war. But really, they can put that shit in their offshore accounts and everything. And if you really do dig deep, you will see that most of those corporations, these politicians, family members and friends and people in their little secret society groups own those corporations, and they give them kickbacks. So it's like a big conflict of interest. They giving all this tax dollars to the corporation, and the politicians just take some money off the top. And the corporation say, oh yeah, we charge $3 billion for a tank. You know what I'm saying?
They always hike the price. They always hike the prices up when it comes to war. Hell yeah, the prices.
It really don't cost $3 billion for a tank. Yeah. And it don't really cost $3 billion to build a tank. That's just the extra money that the politician can take off top, and they can just say they gave it to the corporation to build the tanks. You know what I'm saying? So that's what they do. So these politicians, they love war, and they also keep people scared and in fear. And when people's scared, they run to their government for protection, because constant propaganda. We will protect you. We'll protect you from the enemy, when they are the enemies, and they working with the so-called enemies. All these world leaders are in on it together. That's why I don't give a F if it's a Democrat in office, a Republican in office. They all work together, and they all eating off of us. That's what it's about. That's the dark truth behind these wars.
Yeah, that's a fact. Let me run this. This is an ABC thing they put out as far as how universal basic income is going to, basically how it's going to be ran. So let me go ahead and get into this real quick.
This morning, new insight into whether a universal basic income could one day be sustainable. It's from a study conducted by Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, who has warned about major job losses across certain industries as artificial intelligence grows more powerful.
The speed of the change that may happen here is the part that I worry about the most.
Altman's study gave 1,000 low-income people $1,000 per month over a 3-year period. It was free money, no strings attached. It's something former presidential candidate Andrew Yang supported during the 2020 campaign.
This would create millions of jobs, make our children and families stronger, and give all Americans a better chance to transition in the economy of the 21st century.
Altman's study found people mostly spent the extra money on basics, such as food, rent, and transportation. The largest increase in their spending was to help family and friends with their bills. Many people also put money in the bank. On average, with the extra money, they worked about 1 hour less per week. The research was conducted amid concerns that artificial intelligence will eventually make millions of jobs obsolete, leaving many people scrambling to find new ways to make a living.
With every great technological revolution in human history, although it has been true that the jobs change a lot, some jobs even go away. And I'm sure we'll see a lot of that here.
Critics dismiss the idea of a universal basic income as un-American, comparing it to socialism, saying it would lead to dependency and suffocate innovation in the economy.
That's a
but
fact.
Tech industry titans, including Elon Musk, Twitter co-founder Jack Dorsey, and the so-called godfather of artificial intelligence, Geoffrey Hinton, support it.
So I'm very worried about AI taking over lots of mundane jobs, and that should be a good thing. It's going to lead to a big increase in productivity, which leads to a big increase in wealth. And if that wealth was equally distributed, that would be great.
The study also found with...
Nah, that's dependency on the government to take care of the people. No, universal basic income is not a good thing. It's not. Now you could flip it. Now you could take. Now this is where the people would have to be smart, right? So if they give $1,000 to people a month, you can actually build an industry out of that if you start putting people together. All right, this person put 1,000 up. You have about 20 to 25, 30 people that put $1,000 up and create an industry out of that separate from them. You know what I'm saying? So basically, they're trying to make the people dependent. See, they already ran the test already by giving people $1,000. They already ran the test. And they got to see what people were spending their money on. Now we all know what people are going to spend their money on. Everything's going to go back to the corporations anyway. You're gonna buy their fast food. You're gonna buy they process plant food, laboratory food. You're gonna buy the same corporation product you've been buying since you was a child. Your parents and your grandparents was buying. They know everybody's gonna go back to spending their money on that. Now they said
Walmart and Target.
Yeah, Walmart, Target,
Dollar store.
Yeah, these department stores, right? These department stores. Now they said some people was putting money in the bank, but really $1,000, how is that really going to last anyone, especially with inflation? So you mean to tell me $1,000 is going to actually, help people out when inflation, with the prices of everything going up?
Nah. And they ain't doing that. They didn't do that with crypto yet. So this is $1,000 with cash, like
cash, right?
Just imagine when it's 100% digital, though.
Yeah,
you ain't gonna be able to do nothing outside. You ain't gonna be able to do nothing outside what they tell you to do. Like, you gotta think about it. I know you was saying like, oh, everybody put up $1,000, but if it's digital money, they control it.
Right? Yeah, they control it because the transparent. They can actually see what they can actually see. People actually they can actually see where that money's going. They can actually track it.
Not just that, it's programmable. They can have it to where it resets every month.
Yeah,
right.
You got
to use it up in a certain amount
of time.
Up.
Right.
Yeah, or you'll lose it.
Right, and
it resets back to it resets back to zero, and then they give you another $1,000 the next month.
Yeah, that's basically
and it reset back to zero again, right. So you can never accumulate wealth.
Fact.
That's the danger behind universal basic income and cashless, digital programmable money. That's what it is. Digital programmable money is dangerous. It is. You will never be able to accumulate anything. So now you'll just be getting the bare necessities, the bare minimum. And it all gonna go back to the system anyway, because everything you buying is going to be from a department store. Like, you could never create your own. You could never create your own ever. You're gonna be dependent on Amazon 100%. That's why we built our market, our night and day herbals. That's why we built our night and day herbals, and it's based around people who make their own herbal products, and we make our own herbal products.
Because that's
not have to depend on the corporations.
Yeah, because that's basically what when things like this take place, that's what's is going to basically revert back to people going back to the skills of making things, and that basically going back to hunting and living, how nature had us living before all this industrial came along.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. We can't lose all our skills
yeah, and
as
that's the
humans.
right, and that's the thing. If you have and basically you see how and they bank on the future, so
You saying
they're
hunting? They trying to make hunting illegal. They want to print.
right,
They
and
want to
they trying to
3D
make
print.
fishing. Yeah, and fishing, they trying to make fishing, illegal
Yeah,
as
they
well.
trying to make all that
Right.
stuff illegal so people have to accept their 3D printed food. They're 3D printing the meat. They
Listen,
3D printing the vegetables and fruits. All these stem cells and all this shit that they're using to print up the fake food.
see, you gotta think about this too, right? There is still a generation of people on this planet that's uh before basically social media, and you have people that was born after social media. So you still have people that's living by a certain way that's not going to be going for certain things, right? So that's why they doing a lot of population control, because they need to kill off a certain amount of people, because the ones that's going into the future, they are already trained a certain way to accept what's coming anyway. Because when you got to think about when these people plan, they plan 30 20 years 20 30 years ahead. So it's
Sometimes 100 years.
yeah, sometimes 100. So it's the
Certain
children.
agendas. Yeah.
Yeah, they bank on the children of this generation actually accepting what's coming along, rather than people like us that was around before social media is not going to go for certain things.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So they're going to meet some resistance, because it's still people on this planet that's come from a old way of living versus how they trying to have us live by technology now. So they're going to still meet some resistance. That's why they trying to do a lot of poisoning of food, and they trying to do a lot of population control.
Well, one of the biggest forms of population they control that they're using right
Was
now is gender wars.
gender wars, but
They want men to hate. They want men to hate women and women to hate men, so we don't have that
but
family unit
yeah,
no more. Because
right.
in order to pass those skills down, a lot of times it's a family unit.
It's a
You passing
right.
those
Tribe.
skills down of hunting and fishing to
Yeah,
generation to generation. But if there's no family, because you gotta think about it, you hear all this shit about men going their own way, women ain't effing with men no more, and all. It's because it's all a psyop. And it's agents all online who's putting that type content out and making men hate women and women hate men. So
but
you ain't even reproducing anymore. And when you
yeah,
do, it's like
that's not
it's a
gonna happen.
broken home.
Yeah,
Even if the dad or the mom did have special skills to pass down to their kids, they not, because it's a dysfunctional household. So they just accept whatever the system gives them. So generations down the line, you're gonna have a bunch of kids that's adults now that don't know how to do shit, and they just depending on artificial intelligence to do everything for them. And that's
eh,
when the system got you.
but the
100%.
thing
You're
is,
done.
there's a certain thing that's that's that we have inside of us that they can't control. So even though they use technology or whatever, there's something that God imprinted it into us that they can't control. So they could try to stop us from populating as much as they can, but that's not the universal code. That's not universal law to stop procreating. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? So
I agree with
it's
that
certain, it's certain
100%.
things they don't have control over. So they can't, no matter what they get do, well, no matter what they do, they never gonna be able to stop procreation on this planet. Never. They never gonna be able to conquer that.
But what they gonna
Or
do is make it
there's
dysfunctional.
always, yeah, they're gonna try to make it dysfunctional as possible, but there's
It's
universal
been
law.
working, bro.
But the thing
It's been
about it is,
working.
yeah, but they don't, these things only work for a short period of time.
Yeah, until
Because
everything
because
collapsed.
because they really don't have really control over the spiritual realm. So there's a certain thing that's imprinted in humans that they don't have control over 1000%, and that's the soul. So there's some, spirituality, all spiritual is always going to rule over this physical world. So there's certain things they not going to be able to pull off, and stopping procreation is never going to be able to be conquered. Like you said, they could dysfunction as much as possible, far as using gender wars and things of that nature. But people eventually come back. The men is always going to need women, and women is always going to need men. So, and that's just how the universal law is set up. So they never going to be, they never going to be able to conquer over that point blank.
Then we're going back to the Stone Ages.
Bro, they can never conquer over the masculine and feminine energy, bro. They can't conquer over that.
They're going to fry all the equipment, and we're going to have to go back to the basics and learn skills again.
Well, that's where they
go through a
stage of destruction. That's where the Great Reset comes in at. You know what I mean?
Well, they got their own definition of the Great Reset, and that's when all the AIs take over everything.
Right.
Or it could be another Great Reset to where we go back to the Stone Ages, and you gotta learn how to do everything again without computer systems and everything, because they're gonna fry all of that if they don't get their plan across. See, the thing is, the problem is they own all the technology that we're using. They've weaponized all the technology around us, and and their mindset is, if we can't enslave them with the technology that we own, then we just gonna fry it all and we gonna go back underground. That's their mindset. And that spirit that you talking about that's inside of all of us, what's going to happen is, we'll fight back, but we going to have to do it without all the technology. We're going to have to go back to learning basic skills again.
Yeah,
that's what's going to happen.
It's just certain things.
It's going to come to a head. Eventually, it's going to come to a head. Because I'm going to be honest with you, I think they destroyed majority of the family unit now. If you look around. Just look around the West. It's done, bro.
It's done. In certain parts of the world, but the thing about it is,
going on. Men hate women and women hate men now.
Yeah, but that's only taking part on in certain parts of the world. I mean, they still
it's
not
spreading.
Bro, they're not gonna be able to conquer that. They're not gonna be because if they was able to conquer that, then
I don't think they can
throughout history. That would have been conquered throughout history.
I'm not saying that they're conquering it. I'm saying that it's going to get so bad that things ain't going to have a choice but to change. That's them not conquering it. But things still going to get real bad to where it comes to a head. Because I'm telling you, this day and age, 2025, men hate women and women hate men.
And that's on.
It's getting worse out here.
That's only for us.
And they're controlling that psyop.
Yeah, that's only for us to wake up. That's only for us to wake up, though. Where things have to go bad, that's actually to benefit people of waking up, to actually wake up.
And that's them not conquering it.
Right. So when things do get bad,
it's going to get worse.
People is going to be a great awakening out of things turning that bad. You know what I'm saying? So where trials and tribulations happen, there's always an awakening that happens out of that. So it's always a remnant. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
It's always an awakening out of trials and tribulations. So things have to get bad in order for people to wake up. That's the only thing that could wake us up, is seeing things get real bad.
Have you seen the comments and like these relationship videos and shit? You see the men and the women in the comments arguing amongst each other about who cheat the most and who's the you know what I mean, who's this and that, and it's just a constant like bickering back and forth, like they hate each other. And I'm like, oh, this is a psyop. And then you got these agents out here that specifically post certain videos to trigger people to start the gender war. And a lot of people, we ain't seeing the shit. We ain't seeing how they're doing it. And this psyop is working. It's very effective. Not saying they're going to conquer everybody, but it's going to get so bad and things in society is going to collapse so bad that, people's going to eventually see the light and they're going to have to change their ways.
Yeah.
And that's something that the establishment don't see, that you can never things going to get bad, but you're never going to 100% conquer anything, because once they get bad, things always rebuild back again. You're just going to have to start from ground zero.
Reset.
The feminine energy and the masculine energy going to have to learn to get along again after everything comes to a head.
Fact.
And when they got the feminine and the masculine energy warring amongst each other, everything dies around it. The kids, society, everything dies around it.
Yeah, the collapse happens.
But then what that do is all it does is just create fertilizer for the next generation to learn from that. So a new generation is going to sprout out of that, realizing that, oh, that was bullshit. The way they were living, we got to come together now. That's how the establishment is never going to conquer it, because that's always going to happen, because that's the laws of nature. Because it works no different than it's no different than when fall happened and all the dead leaves and shit create fertilizer for the next spring to come and fertilize the ground. Same thing is happening with our energies. Same thing is happening because the feminine and masculine energy is at war right now. And the human race is expressing that, unfortunately. And these some very troubling times. Very troubling times.
It's been see, religion helped create an imbalance where religion became like 100% male dominance, and that created a imbalance within the universe. You see what I'm saying? Religion actually came along and actually basically distorted that. Religion didn't help actually balance out the feminine and masculine energy. It actually threw it off balance, because religion became 100% male dominance, masculine dominance, and it pretty much written the woman out of, out of her equal.
Not the women, just the feminine energy.
Just the feminine energy out of the equalness. You know what I mean? Out of equal.
Now it's coming back with a vengeance.
The masculine. Basically it's basically coming back with a vengeance. That's what the whole Kali Khalifa thing represents. You know what I'm saying?
And it's still off balance until it rebalances itself again.
You ever see the figure of Khalifa where she's actually chopping the heads off of men, and she's standing over top of their bodies and she's holding the male, the masculine, and basically the severed head in her hand, basically.
Yeah, not just the masculine head, but actually baby skull necklace around her neck.
Right, around the necklace.
So she's killing off the children and the men.
Yeah, right.
Suppressed for so long that the feminine energy
been suppressed. Yeah, and religion did that, bro. Religion came along and did that. Religion came along and actually suppressed the feminine energy, bro. It made it actually 100% masculine.
And look, it's acting out in society. Look at the abortion rate so high. Yeah, look how high the abortion rate is. And in New York, they actually did a study, and it was like, I think it was it was one of the early 2000, like 2007 or 2006 or something like that. It was more babies aborted in New York than was born.
Yeah.
And that actually expressed what that Kali figure shows, with the baby skulls as a necklace around her neck.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that goes to show, that's some real symbolism. That people think that symbolism is Satan and all that. No, that symbolism is an expression to show you what's going on in the society. When the feminine and masculine energy gets when it gets distorted and unbalanced.
Yeah. I mean that's what we seeing playing out, in society right now. That's what we see playing out. You know what I mean? That's what we seeing playing out right now. You see every day, there's always an agenda war going on. Like you said, it's always people putting things out to actually trigger that. You have these fake, what you call them people that be speaking on relationships and all that stuff.
Motherfucking dating coaches and
right.
And some of them podcasts. Some of them motherfuckers, I think they agents, like they work for certain agencies, because you got to understand, this is also this gender war shit. Just like the feminism
shit.
Just like the feminism movement and all them other and the other crazy ass movement, Me Too movement, and all that. Those be government sponsored operations. And sometimes they have agents, and sometimes the agents don't even realize they're doing the agenda. They just acting off the emotions because they was hurt too based on this shit. So they made it easy for them to be able to express that, and the algorithm loves it. So the algorithm constantly pumps that shit out.
I mean,
even when you ain't looking for it,
like
the algorithm be recommending that shit. Even
bro,
if you ain't doing that kick, even if you ain't knowing that kick, you come across those videos where these podcasters or these dating coaches or whoever the fuck they are be putting that shit out there so men and women can fight amongst each other, asking questions, who cheats more and who do this and who do that, and they be having thousands and thousands of comments of men and women fighting in the comment sections. You know what I mean? Based off of the shit that the agent said in the post, in the Instagram or Twitter post or some shit, or Facebook post. And I'm like, yo, this is a psyop. Because they got all these motherfuckers arguing amongst each other, all these men versus women, and in the comments argue amongst each other, and it's just showing how dysfunctional society is. And it's only going to get worse.
Well, we seeing all this shit play out. And right now, these wars that's going on, as far as between these world leaders, I mean, this shit is gonna play out. It's gonna play out the way they wanted to play out in order to get the people to buy into the agenda. And that's all they focusing on, is the people buying into the agenda, because they going into the next phase, but they need the people to definitely go along with it.
They already in it. They already in it. We deep in the next phase.
Now, and the thing about it is, if you break the people, if you financially break the people, then you could send a hero in to basically bail them out. Be like, listen, this is the new system we going with. And the people going to accept it, because nobody wants to starve. Nobody wants to see their children starve or none of that, right? So the people's going to go along with it. Universal basic income, it's not going to be cash. It's going to be based off the crypto system.
Digital currency that's programmable.
They definitely going to give the people digital currency, universal basic income, but in digital currency.
And it's going to be a trap. It's going to be a trap, just like the welfare system is a trap.
Yeah, it's always to feed the agenda, because they want to actually, like you said, they want dominance. They want to be able to still maintain control and have dominance over the people. So only way you can do that is try to strip the power from the people, where they can't be independent no more. They have to be 100% dependent on the system.
And that's what they're doing.
So now they want to go in. They actually attacking farmers, like farmers that's actually growing, still practicing the traditional natural way of farming. They sending feds in there and tell them they can't sell raw milk no more, and they can't sell beef, and they can't sell beef products and stuff more. Like, they actually going in and busting these farms up, because they want us 100% dependent on the system, bro. 3D printed meats, vegetables that could be grown in out of season, and it's just going into a total 100% dominance with these people. But they still under the illusion though. They still delusional though.
Nah, the people is under delusion though too. It's until the people continue, till the people wake up. But you gotta think about, a lot of us.
It gotta get bad. It gotta get bad before we
falling
wake up,
for it.
Right. So we gonna see a lot more wars and rumors of war. Like you know what I'm saying? Things gotta get bad in order for awakening to happen, and we understand that.
Yeah, things are going to get bad.
Yeah, we understand. We understand that that what's happening now has to take place in order for an awakening to happen. So, yes, prepare for things to start. They might go as far as to start nuking shit. They've done it before, and to tell you the truth, America was the only ones that ever dropped the nuclear bomb on a country.
Fact.
They going in trying to regulate countries with nuclears and shit, but this country is the only one that ever dropped the fucking nuclear on somebody, bro.
Nigga, we did it twice.
You know what I'm saying? Hiroshima and the Nagasaki shit that happened.
Nagasaki, yep.
Nagasaki.
We did it twice. Yep.
It's the only country that ever used a fucking nuclear weapon, bro.
And we going after Iran for
that.
Yeah,
we can't regulate shit when we the only ones that actually use
hypocrites. Yeah, hypocrite. Yeah, United States is the biggest hypocrites on the planet.
That's why America's gonna fall the way it's gonna fall, bro. Because we understand what happened. You know what I mean? What this empire actually did. And we understand that this empire has to fall. It has to.
Yeah, we go and we bomb Iran's nuclear facilities, and they never dropped a bomb on nobody. We the only country that dropped nuclear weapons on Japan.
Yeah.
And we going after nations for having nuclear weapons. That's funny as hell. That's the irony in that. The hypocrisy in that.
Right.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible. That's another dark truth behind this war.
Right.
we went after Iran for their nuclear facilities, and we the only ones in history to actually use nuclear as a weapon.
Facts. I'm saying,
and it was testing it on our own citizens.
Yeah, I mean that's
what that movie Hills Have Eyes are loosely based on.
Yeah,
we was doing all the nuclear weapons testing over there
in the desert.
Yep, yeah. and it was affecting the citizens that was living close by, and they knew it because it was part of the experiment, and they was doing it anyway. Yeah, we some big. Oh, America's the biggest hypocrites. Oh man.
Yeah. That's why they don't like. That's why they don't like when certain public figures throughout history was speaking out against, that very thing. I know they be hating when Farrakhan talk like that. When he was on national TV, national TV, I don't know if it was CNN, it was one of them Jones, and they try to say they was trying to say some country is the most evil empire, and he corrected them and said America was the only one that ever used the nuclear weapon on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and America, like he's basically telling that reporter off, bro. Like they don't like when the hypocrisy is being pointed out. They don't like that shit, bro. But it's the truth, though. It's the truth. It's the truth, man.
Well, the truth. The truth is very unpopular on planet Earth.
Yeah. The truth is not popular. Nah, we not popular at all.
You'll be famous if you go completely into the delusion. Like feeding into the delusion, you'll be a multi-millionaire, multi-billionaire. Everybody will love you.
Yeah.
As soon as you start speaking some truth, you're hated. You get ignored, you're hated.
Yeah.
Because
what you're doing,
assassinated.
Because what you're doing, the people is going to be against you too. Because what you're doing, you shattering their delusion, the spell that they're under. And you're coming along and actually shattering that. So the people will kill you for that, bro.
No, they do.
Yeah, the people will kill a truth teller real quick. A truth teller will get killed faster than anything because you're coming along and actually disrupting the program. You're actually
because ignorance is bliss.
Yeah, you're
getting people in front of people's bliss. You know what happened.
Yeah, you actually disrupting people's, the spell that people's under. Like you don't want to. You basically waking a person up where they don't even want to be awakened. Yeah, you would die for that. Yes.
Like when we say it don't matter who's in office, Democrat or Republican, they all corrupt. It don't matter if it was Trump in there, Kamala, Biden, Obama. It's all corruption.
Yeah, people
hate one of them.
They hate us for saying that. Hell
they do hate us for saying that.
People will hate you for saying shit like that.
Definitely hate when we talk like that.
Yeah, I ain't really expecting them to push this video because we know
it's the truth.
They be shadow banning shit. They shadow banning shit when you talking about some shit that go against what they want everybody to believe and be on. You go against that, yeah.
It's all scripted. All the world leaders are in on it, including Trump. He's no different than the rest of them. He act really good. He's a good actor. He's a very good actor.
Well, America sets the stage anyway. America is who sets the stage for these things to play out. That's America's job, to set the stage, give everybody a script, and this is what we going with.
People think that
the agenda that we going with.
State. They
talk
about the deep state.
He's not.
If he was really against the deep state, they would have been took him out.
Listen,
and that assassination attempt was weak.
Yeah.
It was fake, and they didn't even use a real shooter for that. Because if they really wanted to take him out, they would have used a real sniper who would easily be able to would have took him out at that distance. It wouldn't have just nipped his ear. So that was fake.
They're not gonna put
anybody who's in the military who knows actual real snipers, when they hire those mercenaries and people who've been in the military to do those types of jobs, they don't miss, especially at that distance. They don't miss. They don't miss. They definitely wouldn't have missed that shot.
Listen, man.
They wouldn't have missed that shot. That was fake. That was more fake movie scripted shit.
They're not putting nobody. They're not going to put anybody in office that's going to go against the agenda. You gotta understand something. If you put somebody in office that's not going along with any of it and they just doing their own thing, that's never going to happen.
Exactly.
They're never going to give power to somebody that's against them. That don't sound right. That don't even sound right. Why would you put somebody in office? Why would you put somebody in office that's going? Yeah. Why would you put somebody?
Evidence though.
Yeah, but why would you put somebody in office that's going to go against the establishment? That don't make sense. You going to give power to somebody that's going to go against, the system? That don't make sense.
Talk about the evidence though. John F. Kennedy is the evidence.
Yeah, John F. Kennedy, yeah.
Kennedy is the evidence. He went against the system and look.
Yeah,
what's the name? Look what happened to him when he went in, and they put a sniper on him that didn't miss.
They put two snipers. They put two
exactly.
Snipers
They put two snipers there
just
in case the other one missed. They don't miss. That's what I'm saying. Y'all really think Trump is trying to take down the deep state? Y'all don't think that
no.
Y'all don't realize that he is the deep state? Like I don't know why people. I never believed that he was for the people. I always felt like he was an actor for the establishment forever.
JFK played the game.
With all them politicians at one point. How is he against them now?
You gotta understand, JFK played the game to get in there, and then he flipped the script. Because they're not gonna get, if they know you're a person that's against the system, they're not gonna even give you a chance. He flipped the script. Yeah, Kennedy and his brother flipped the script when they got in there. He didn't get in there based off the shit he was talking about after he got in there. He was going along with everything until he got in there and seen certain things, because they're not privy to certain information until they actually take the seat, y'all. So you gotta understand something. He's blinded. You're blinded when you go in there.
Until you look at that black book.
Until you look at the black book, until they start handing you all this paperwork on a silver platter for you to start writing shit off. Because all you in there to do is to push and sign things off. That's what you put in there to do. So when he starts seeing when he was privy to the information and he's seeing certain things that wasn't right, he said, nah, I'm going against this shit. That's why he got taken out, because he went against the information that was given to him. Every president goes in there not knowing what they're going in there, what they're getting themselves into, because there's a certain information. Like you said, that black book, they're not privy into that until they actually take the seat, until they're sworn in and they actually take the seat. And that's when they give in the black book.
Same thing with Reagan. They tried to take him out because he wasn't agreeing with everything.
Yeah, he wasn't agreeing with everything in that book. Yeah. Exactly. He's not going. Like, you got to think about that black book. Once that black book is given to them, if you go against anything in that black book, bro, you might as well go ahead and take yourself out. Yeah, because the black book is sacred amongst that seat. That's a sacred thing. So When Kennedy got in there and seen that black book, this nigga said, hell no, I'm not doing this. Because there's sacrifices that has to be made. You got to understand something. That black book, there's sacrifices that has to be made where a lot of people gonna lose lives behind the shit that they got to pull off when they given that black book, bro. You're not even going to be able to survive without carrying out the orders in that black book. Dude, we don't know what's in that black book. We hear about it. We know about the black book, but we don't know what information is actually in that black book.
I bet you the information about those central banks is in that black
book.
About how they control the world.
And you can kind of get an idea because you can see where the agenda is being pushed, and that can kind of give you an idea, but we don't actually know privy to the information that's in that black book 100%. And they have to actually take an oath that they can't even reveal what's in that black book. And if you do try to reveal what's in that black book, they're going to assassinate you. That's what happens.
That's how we know Trump is with the shits.
Yeah.
That's how we know that he's not there to take out no damn deep state. He is
not
the deep state.
Yeah, he's not going against that shit in that black book.
Hell no, he's not.
For that shit that's in that black book, bro.
I don't know why people think that he would be any different. I knew from the beginning. I know anybody they put in there ain't for the people.
Yeah. They put a bullet.
They ain't gonna put nobody in there that's for the people, because it's always the world governments, which the United States is a big part of, against the general public. Everything, all the shit that they do in the public is to put on a fiasco, a show for us to keep us controlled and believing that they got everything under control and that what they do is good for us. If you violate that as a world leader, they'll take your ass out fast. Gaddafi. Saddam.
Saddam, Gaddafi.
They take your ass out fast.
Yeah.
They take you out quick. Kennedy, Robert Kennedy. They take your ass out fast, and they do. That's how you know that Trump is with the deep state, because he's still alive and he's making moves. He was making moves with Israel. Now, since they seeing that a lot of people was against Israel and they see Trump was buddy with them, now Trump got to act like he's enemies. Now he got to act right. Script to act like he's enemies with Israel. Now,
they flipped that script in one day though. Yo, it's funny how they flipped the script in one day. It took them overnight to flip the script though. They ain't even wait. It took them one day, bro, to flip the script.
Yeah, because Israel's unpopular with the general public. Israel is very unpopular with the general public right now. So they needed Trump to flip the script. Yeah, they gotta make it look like Trump is disappointed in Israel. When he was always on their side. He even wore the same color, the blue tie, to show his allegiance with them.
Yo, they flipped that shit
baby blue tie he wore to even show allegiance to them.
Yeah.
He was always cool. That was always his people.
Yeah.
Now you gotta act like, oh yeah, now I'm disappointed in Israel. Oh man,
bro, they ain't even wait.
All the script.
They ain't wait a week, a month, and nothing. They wait overnight. Them niggas flip that script.
That's quick. Another dark truth. That's another dark truth behind.
And then you could tell it was scripted because he sent this out. This tweet, they flipped the script real quick. This tweet right here is prime example of them flipping the script real quick overnight. He's telling Israel, don't drop the bomb or it's going to be violations. Come on, my nigga. You going to tweet that shit out on a publication for the world to see?
And what violations? What is he going to do about those violations?
Not a damn thing.
What is he going to do to Israel?
Nothing. He ain't going to go in there and drop nothing.
What are you going to do? Tariffs?
Right. Yeah. What are you going to do
against Israel for disobeying him? He ain't going to do shit. He ain't gonna do nothing because they still his squad.
Yo,
I don't know why people think that he was gonna be different than anybody else. He's no different than anybody else they put in that Oval Office.
Yo, anybody that went in there gotta follow protocol. I don't give a F who you are. You can scream script. You can scream Kamala wasn't gonna do this shit all day if you want to, nigga. She gotta follow, especially her.
What?
Especially her. She ain't even a billionaire. She not even Trump status. So you know they was gonna have her doing all types of shit. You got to follow protocol. Oh, she gonna go in there and tell him, nah, we ain't going to war with what? Like I'm like, they look at her like, oh no, we ain't going to war with who? We ain't doing what? Nigga, you gotta follow protocol when you sit in that seat.
It's all a script. We being played, man. It's all a script. All them world leaders, including Trump, all of them is on the same team. Yeah, they might have little beefs between each other sometimes, but when it comes to going against the general public, they all take the same side because they realize they can't lose the trust of the general public because they could easily be overran. And so many people on the planet that they can easily be overran. So they all agree that they have to keep the cattle because they look at us as cattle. They all agree that they got to keep the cattle, you know what I'm saying, under control. They got to work together for that, but they might have differences on how to do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, they have beefs amongst each other. They have little secret wars amongst each other, but it's never it never get to the point to where they let the general public know about that.
Yeah, you gotta understand something. If the general population wakes up and they all on one accord,
exactly,
these people will be out of business by tomorrow.
That's what they fear the most.
They might, and some of them might end up in the streets. Yeah, they might end up hung in the streets some damn where.
It's no different than the zombie movies. Houses,
houses getting invaded. Like, yo, once the people rebel, if the people rebel against the system and band together, it's no stopping them. Like, they know they're gonna have to run and hide in the bunkers because houses is getting ran up in, the White House is getting taken over, all the Capitol buildings. Like, not none of that fake shit that happened in January of 2023. We ain't talking about none of that fake ass shit. We talking about a real revolution where shit gotta really take place.
People getting tied up.
Yeah.
But no, but for real though, the best example is that those zombie movies or them zombie shows like The Walking Dead. Like you had different groups trying to survive, but they all agreed that you can't let the zombies run over. So we're like the general public is like the zombies. So the humans that were surviving, even though they were going at each other, they still all agreed on they had to keep the zombies away. But sometimes they would use the zombies as weapons against each other. So it's the same deal. So the general public equals zombies, and the ones who survive and the humans who's not zombies yet they look at themselves as the survivors, like Rick Grimes and Negan and all them motherfuckers.
Yeah, they want a civil war. They would want a civil war between the people, you know what I mean, on this American soil. So they would stir up, you know, conflict between the people so a civil war can actually take place. So they tried to do it with this ICE shit where they had, you know, the Mexicans going out there and protesting and then saying black people need to go out there and support them and because we could be next and all that. Nah, they trying to start some type of division and conflict amongst you know, amongst the American people. So they're gonna use they propaganda machine to do that. That's the only way they can pull it off, by using the propaganda machine. But the thing about it, bro, it's like social media is so strong that it actually overpowers mainstream media. So a lot of people even didn't even buy into that shit. That's one thing I'm peeping too, that mainstream media, it's not mainstream media anymore. It's not dominant like it used to be.
Why do you think Donald Trump is tweeting Israel and telling them don't drop those bombs rather than just going on national television?
Making an actual national you know, public, you know, statement and telling them not to do it.
The first thing he does is tweet it, and then he goes on TV.
Right.
That's the first thing. He runs to Twitter and talk to the leader directly through Twitter. Why would you talk to Israel leaders through Twitter instead of calling them on the phone and telling them not to drop the bombs? Maybe the motherfucker ain't check his Twitter. That's why he dropped the bombs.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't tweet.
You know what I'm saying?
But Trump didn't tweet this out for he didn't tweet this out for the leader of Israel. He
Oh yeah,
tweeted
yeah,
this
we
out
know that.
for the people. This tweet right here was just for the general population to
Yeah, I know. We
tune
established that
into.
earlier because they
Right.
experimenting. They want to see what people think. Yeah, you can't do that on regular TV. You see what the opinions of everybody. They want to see if they program is working, so they had to drop it on social media and then read all the comments and
Yeah.
see if their scripted shit is working on the masses or not. Yeah, I know it's all a psyop, man. It's all social media is the biggest psyop the world have ever seen, and it's highly powerful. Social media is very powerful, bro. Very powerful. More powerful than mainstream news, more powerful than radio, because it combines all that shit and basically it centralized all of that onto one general platform, and then everybody in the world have access to it. So that's some powerful shit right there. We don't realize the type of power that social media holds. Like, we use it every day, but we really don't comprehend, like, our perception. We don't really understand how powerful of a psyop and how powerful social media effects that it have on the human brain. It's some powerful shit, boy.
Yeah, I
Social
believe
media is
that
very powerful.
Yeah, I believe that mainstream media is not as dominant as it used to be. So they have to use social media. They have to use these figures. I mean, he has to tweet out shit because social media things actually move faster on social media. The information actually flows faster on social media.
It's real
So they
time.
have to, so they have to use, so he has to tweet this shit out. You know what I mean? Because social media is actually dominant over mainstream media right now. It is though. Yeah, I mean, prime example of that is you could have a shit. Look at the Shannon Sharp shit with the Cat Williams interview. There's no interview on national TV that ever did more numbers than that fucking interview, bro. That interview was like almost at 90 million views. There's no interview on TV that ever had 90 million viewers.
That's because the general public can interact with each other.
Fact.
That's
And
what makes
it
all
more.
the views.
Yeah, that's what drives the engagements up is by people actually interacting. Facts.
That's why I
And
said it's powerful.
and then people actually clipping it and posting it. You have other publications talking about it. Like, it's so dominant that mainstream media even had to report on the Shannon Sharp interview with Cat Williams. Mainstream media had to come to social media to pick that up. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that's how it's been though. That's been the trend now. Social media, but that's how they wanted it though, because it's an experiment that the government or corporations are partnering up on, so they can test to see if their programming is working on the masses. They're able to see in real time based off the comments if their programming is working.
And then corporations use it as
to
a
target
marketing,
for ads.
as a marketing ploy to see what people are interested in. So their products is based off of what the people is interested in. They use social media to actually basically direct that traffic back to them by just using analytics on social media. You know what I mean? And seeing what people clicking on the most. They're able to see all that shit. Corporations actually see these platforms actually sold our information to these corporations. That's what happened. See, they sold all our data to the corporations. So now the corporations is
into the government.
Into the government. Oh, government first. Government gets our data first. Then the corporations actually has to purchase our data because a lot of these social media platforms are regulated by the government. They are.
And that should be illegal because in America you gotta get a court. You're supposed to get a court order before you're able to get that type of information on an American citizen.
Yeah.
So they breaking their own laws with that. But they do that anyway.
Yeah.
They've been doing that. They've been breaking their own laws.
Everybody data is sold off to the corporations. You know what I'm saying? So
these are the dark truths behind Trump in World War III. He's with the shits. He ain't trying to take down the deep state. He is the deep state.
yeah.
Everybody that holds some type of political power is the deep state because they all have to follow a base script. And if they don't follow that script, they get taken out. Simple as that.
Yeah, they have to follow protocol.
Hell yeah. Because you got to think about the influence that the politicians have on the general public. They the ones that's supposed to be leading everybody. So if they don't follow the script of all the world leaders, there's a certain baseline script that all world leaders have to follow. And if any of them violate that, they get taken out. Saddam, Gaddafi.
Yeah. Prime example.
John F. Kennedy.
Prime example. Even the general population have to follow guidelines. Just think about it. Just think about the guidelines that we have to follow on social media. Even down to us, we have to follow certain guidelines. We have to follow protocol according to the guidelines that these platforms set forth. If we break any of these guidelines or violations, our channels get deleted, our pages get deleted, they put you in Facebook jail, they demonetize your channel, they demonetize your videos, they hit you with community guidelines saying we got to remove this video because it goes against our guidelines. So imagine what the fuck these politicians and these motherfuckers got to follow. Imagine what guidelines they got to follow.
And what do wars actually do? That's another thing. Like all these wars, like what do they actually accomplish? These wars, if you actually just think about the wars that ended, like the Vietnam War, the Korean War, like what did those wars actually accomplish? None of those wars accomplished shit.
It didn't accomplish anything. It only benefited the corporations and the banks, and it only benefited the people that it was supposed to benefit.
And left the general public at a deficit. People losing their kids, people coming back not being able to find jobs, being discriminated against.
Yeah, people coming back with a lot of psychological damage.
Yep. Suicidal and all types of stuff. Yeah, so what do those wars actually accomplish? And how do the politicians suffer from these wars? They don't. They get more rich.
They get more
rich. You know what I mean? Yep. They get more rich. All of them. Even if they so-called lose the war, they still eating off of it. They live like kings and queens during war. While our children are sent out there, to die.
Roman Empire.
And our economy collapsed.
Roman Empire shit, bro.
And the politicians and the corporations is buying everything up pennies on the dollar because everything collapsed because of the war that they started.
Yeah, that's funny.
That's just scam. This is a scam.
The market dropped crazy when they announced that Iran bombed Israel and vice versa. The market dropped crazy low. Not only the crypto market, but the actual NASDAQ and all that shit.
Yeah, everything. The whole economy.
The whole economy dropped. So who you think benefited from that shit dropping?
The politicians who knew they were going to bomb so and so, who already knew that the war was going to come, or that they was going to do this and do that. They know because they plan it, and then they know the shit's going to drop, so they could buy everything up. They already got their bags ready to buy everything up when they announce shit. That's what I'm saying. It's one big scam, and I don't even know how we don't see it. I don't even know how the general public don't see this, or how these politicians take advantage of the market because they know the certain things that they do is going to affect the market, and they do them anyway. And the only people who is at a loss is the general public who don't have advanced knowledge on it. But the politicians and the corporations always have advanced knowledge on this shit. That's why they just keep making more and more money. And we at a loss. We always at a deficit. All these wars that these politicians provoke, it always just leave the general public at a deficit. Death and financial trouble. And enemies that we don't even need. This is crazy, man.
Yeah.
Having us in danger. We Americans is traveling and we be in danger of some Iranian dude that's been watching the propaganda from his own country. See us and poke us in the neck. And we just going tour traveling somewhere. and we get poked in the neck by some angry Iranian.
Yeah, that's
and we don't even have beef, and we don't even agree with the war, and we still getting poked in the neck. And they tell, travel advisory, don't travel to these places because it's heavily populated with the enemy. Yeah, enemy you created. I ain't got no problems with no Iranians. The hell?
Yeah, that's another thing too.
I ain't got no problems with no Iranians. Why I gotta watch my back from Iranians because you got a problem with Iranians? See, the only people who suffer is the general public. These politicians, man, this shit is crazy. That's why I wouldn't vote for none of these motherfuckers because I don't trust any of them because they all manipulators. They all devils. They are. They all manipulated. Every last one. I don't care if you Democrat, Republic. I don't give a fuck what you are. You're part of the scam because if you wasn't, you would get taken out.
He said, yeah, that's crazy, bro.
You going somewhere, I mean, you trying to get your travel on, and you got some, you American, you trying to travel somewhere, and you got a angry Iranian looking at you from the back with a knife, hiding a knife behind his back. As soon as you turn around, next thing you know, you got a knife poking out of the back of your neck. And you don't even know what the hell going on.
And that's another thing too, that being as though that the propaganda is being fed to different sides. Like, like people like, man, like we ain't in support of that shit. Like, why would they, you know what I mean? Like, why would their population be mad at us? Like, we don't have control over what the F they do, what these world leaders is doing. But they need, see, that's the thing though, they need the general population to buy into it.
But the vision.
So they need to tell us, yeah, those Americans are evil. They don't, you know what I mean? Like,
death to America. That's what they seeing them when they're burning flags. Death of America. Death of America.
And they telling us over here, yeah, Iranians is bad, and all they want to do is take us out, and you know what I mean? It's a bunch of propaganda, bro. And that don't even be the case.
And Trump and the Iranian government be in on it together, getting their citizens to hate each other.
All right, I ain't got nothing against those Iranian people. I ain't got nothing against those Israeli people. It's the world leaders that's the ones that's doing all this shit.
Yeah, I know, right? I ain't got no problems against none of these motherfuckers.
I ain't got problems with
Chinese people, I ain't got no problem
Chinese
with exactly
population. I'm talking about the general people now. I don't have problems with the Russian people. I don't have problems with the Chinese population. I don't have trouble with, you know what I mean? I don't have problems with none of those people they trying to get us to be against. It's them stupid ass world leaders that's doing all this shit.
Yeah, we against these clown ass governments.
So I need y'all to hear that for y'all that's watching this from wherever side of the moon you at, side of the sun you at. The American people don't got nothing against y'all. The people,
I think they waking up to see that, bro. I think everybody know the government is corrupt.
Social media is helping with that.
Right.
Because now people from all over the world could connect with each other. So it could be some Iranian people watching this live stream right now. What's going to stop them? But it's some Chinese. It could be some Chinese people watching this live, Russian people watching this, Israeli people watching this live stream right now. That's the thing, though. They don't have control over that shit. So it don't matter what they mainstream propaganda machines say. People always going to revert to social media because everybody carrying a phone in their hand.
Facts.
So
we ain't got no problem with none of those people. Like, that's crazy.
That's the flip side of it. Their propaganda machines can't overpower social media. Man,
and that's the type of mindset that they fear, bro.
Facts. We telling y'all, listen, we ain't for this war shit. The general people over here ain't for that war shit. They don't want to bomb Iran. They don't want to bomb Israel. They don't want to do none of that. The general population over here don't want to do none of that shit.
Hell nah.
And
Plus, we can't afford it.
Right, and I'm pretty sure their population of people don't want to bomb America and do all that. They don't want to be involved with this shit either.
Then we need to stop.
Most people just want to be left alone, eat their Doritos, drink their beer, smoke their weed,
and watch
TV. Yeah, watch the sport. Most people just want to be left the hell alone. They don't want to be involved with none of this shit. Most people just want to be left alone to live their day-to-day life. That's it. They don't want to be dragged into the wars. They don't want to have to even think about none of that. You know what I'm saying? Most people just want to be left alone. They want to drag us into this game. And even this politician game with this left versus right shit. Like why they want to drag people into this shit, man? Like, why they want people to play this game with them? No, most people just want to be left alone to live a day-to-day life, man. Like, living alone is stressful enough, especially when they got everybody in survival mode and shit. Like, most people want to be left alone. They don't want to have to be bothered with no politician and all this stupid ass shit they trying to drag us into.
Nope.
Yeah, no wars. Exactly. We don't care about. Nobody want to be going to no war. People don't want to be going to war and shit. Doing none of that. That shit is a headache, and too many people die behind it.
Yeah, life is harder. Life is hard. Life is hard enough. Why the fuck we want to have war?
Exactly.
Life is hard enough on its own. Like, the war, that's just overcomplicating things, and nothing gets done during a war. There's nothing productive about a war except for all the weapons and shit that they making millions of dollars off, billions of dollars off of to kill people.
That's it.
But war never benefits society at all. There's no benefits to war. Just like they say there's no benefit to nuclear war, there's no benefit to war, period. There's no benefit to war at all. Israel been bombing the hell out of Palestine all these years, and who's benefiting? There's nobody really benefiting from this shit.
Not the
it's
people.
Just more death and destruction.
Yeah, not the general population.
Nope, the only ones benefiting is these politicians and these corporations that make all the weapons for war. They the only ones that's benefiting. So they the ones that's causing up the wars. They the ones they taking some of that money that they making off of the tax dollars to use for propaganda, so they can create more war, create more conflicts for war.
Man, they sent all that money overseas to Ukraine and all that stupid shit, bro.
Ukraine and sent all that money to Ukraine and Israel.
All those billions and billions of dollars over there.
Both Biden and Trump.
Yeah.
Both Biden and Trump sending billions of dollars all over the place.
They sent all that money.
Because Trump was still sending money to Israel. Maybe not to Ukraine. Maybe not to Ukraine, but he was sending money to Israel.
Yeah.
So it don't matter who's in there. They still funding the war. They still pumping the wars out. They still keeping that dialogue going. And they put Trump in there to act like he's against war. How are you going to be against war and the first thing you do, you bomb Iran and say now there's peace? How the hell there's going to be peace after you bomb somebody? That's like going over there and punch somebody in the face and say, now we got peace. How? He loved when the wars happen because he got friends and family that's probably part of the military industrial complex.
Yeah, he do.
Built the tanks and the helicopters and all that.
Contractors.
Shit.
It's the contractors.
He got
Yeah, contractors.
So he make money off of that shit too. All them politicians do. All them politicians do. That's why they love the war going on. And the war also keeps the people divided because they want the world to be divided because they don't want the world to come together. They don't want Iranians and Americans coming together. You know what I'm saying? They don't want Palestinians and Israelis coming together. They don't want Russians and Ukrainians coming together. They want to keep the war going because it keeps the propaganda going, it keeps the division going, so they can keep the divide and conquer game going on, and make money off of it on the side. That's the dark truth behind Trump and World War III. Man, shout out to y'all who been tuned in this whole show.
We gonna
sponsored by nightandayherbals.com. Right now we got 35% off. Y'all know YouTube don't really like to monetize these videos, so how we stay in business how we stay in business is selling these quality products with people from our community. 35% off for these high quality products from people from our community. If you want to support us and what we doing here, you could definitely shop at nightandayherbals.com. We got high quality CBD. We got sea moss on there. We got hair care products, skin care products, all natural, no synthetic chemicals, none of that. We ship pretty fast. And like I said, it's 35% off, man. So nightandayherbals.com. The link is pinned to the top of the chat. And it's also going to be pinned in the description of this video. Yeah, man, we thank y'all. Shoot. We tuning in.
Yeah, we gonna come with some more hot fire for y'all, some more hot fire information for y'all. Cause during this time, man, I see a lot of diversion, I see a lot of distractions, and people need to see beyond the veil, man. I mean, the veil needs to be lifted off, and people actually need to see the truth, because they playing games with our lives in real time.
Ain't that the truth?
They playing games in real time with this shit. So when we go live and push that live button, we definitely just ain't coming on live just for some bullshit. We're gonna get to it. We're gonna get to the information.
Facts.
So the premise of this live stream is the dark truth behind Trump and these wars and what's really going on. Because the mainstream media ain't gonna never tell you anything. Nothing. And you got other people that's speaking out like we speaking out, but it's small. It's a small amount of people and the information, because most people are just paying attention to the surface level shit. So of course you're gonna find a nigga with 10,000 on this live stream talking about the Diddy case. You know what I mean? And you might get some people that's on some political shit, might get a lot of people on the live stream, but they ain't going deep with it. They still surface level with this Trump and war shit. Like I've listened to a lot of people that's speaking about this war and shit with Israel and Iran and Trump and all. It's still surface level. It's still surface level. And hey, maybe that's what, maybe that's where they only seeing it from the point of view that they seeing it from, and that's okay. Not everybody's gonna, have a deeper meaning on shit, or being able to discern and connect the dots and shit like that. That's not for everybody. So, yeah, man. But hey, this was a fire live stream, man. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. Appreciate y'all for sharing it. Shout out to y'all that shared the live stream too. You know what I mean? And yeah, that's this we're gonna keep coming with. Make sure y'all subscribe to Night and Day Cartoon Network too. Definitely get over there and get you some laughs over there on the Night and Day Cartoon Network. Make sure y'all go over there and subscribe to that channel. We're putting content out over there as well. So yeah, man. On that, I guess anything else?
Nah, that's it, man. We definitely appreciate y'all. Yeah, we covered all bases for sure. There's definitely some playback. You know what I mean? There's definitely some playback in this. Y'all definitely sometimes you gotta listen to things twice.
Hell yeah. Now it's time to get up off of here, eat, and do all that good things and all that. So we'll catch y'all on the next live stream, man. We be live, you know what I mean, probably tomorrow.
Yep.
We do want to cover the verdict with the Diddy shit though. So I know they just did the closing on the Diddy case, but we definitely want to tune in for the verdict. So
right,
we will be going live with the verdict and all that. So make sure y'all tune in, man. We will be live for that because we want to see how this shit gonna end with that shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean? So on that note, y'all, salute, man. We up out of here.
Shop now at nightandayherbals.com and enjoy 35% off all our herbal CBD products. Automatically applied at checkout.